Good evening, Trump family. Welcome to Open Source News. Have a good night, everyone, and God bless you. Thank you for always watching and subscribing to the channel. Alright, the following is a collection of news from patriots. Let's get into the news. And the media propagandists are absolutely in tears, because they can't control the narrative on Twitter. They decided to go back to their studios and start complaining on air, breaking down in tears, talking about how only their narrative should be allowed to trend on Twitter, and not alternate theories to trend, because the only opinion that is a correct opinion according to the mainstream media is coarse Democrats' opinion, that's the only one that matters to them. So if there's any pushback to it, they absolutely freak out. This is how you know we are winning, because we're breaking these people down mentally. The purchase of Twitter by Elon Musk has already started pay off dividends in many cases. And this is one of them here, where they are no longer able to control the narrative on Twitter, and they're freaking out about it. So let's go and dive into it. Well, we right here with MSNBC. Absolutely having a cry fest over there on their network after theories about what happened with Paul Pelosi, inside his house, and him and his underwear, and Twitter and their underwear, and everything that ensued afterwards. They are so triggered. There is QAnon, it's Kuna. It has to be QAnon. That's all they got. That's all they got. They cannot stand the fact that apps that people that are not QAnon regular people were saying, yeah, that story doesn't make sense. So here we go. Let's take a listen to their tears and how glorious they are. Everyone listen to this. On Pizzagate cabal style stuff, the idea that the world is secretly run by this new world order. And it is trying to censor you. It's trying to prevent the world from seeing what's really going on in that Nancy Pelosi and people like that. Those people in the Q and A spaces right now, those people are at the top of that sphere. They are at the top of that pecking order when it comes to popular belief conspiracy theories. And I do want to stress this. Right now on trending on Twitter is the lie about this guy Cry. It's the lie that it's trending. It's trending on Twitter as we speak. Because Elon Musk pushed it on Saturday, or yesterday, sorry. I just want to make it clear how they got to this place. So first of all, lies on the internet faster than the truth. And that's in part why there are all these safeguards that Elon Musk is trying to take down on Twitter right now. The lies that were pushed were from bad pieces of information they found. For example, they said that Paul Pelosi was in his underwear. Of course, he was 2:30 in the morning, at the time he was attacked. That led them to believe this was a lover's quarrel between two different people that knew each other. The reason they believed they knew each other is because the police put out a statement saying that they didn't really know who opened the door. So that led them to believe there was a third person in the house. So from there was this world building on the pro-Trump internet. What could be the opposite of reality here? And the opposite of reality they came up with was these two people were having a lover's quarrel in a house, and the police sort of intruded on us. It's fundamentally incorrect. Was pushed by the richest man in the world. And then yesterday, it was pushed by Donald Trump Jr., who posted a picture of underwear and a hammer and said, as a Halloween costume for Paul Pelosi, if we don't cut this out right now, to not just the normalization of violence, but the idea that reality can't even exist anymore because it cannot catch up to lies on the internet. I'm not a scholar on authoritarian history. But I've read it, Hannah Arendt, I've read all of these people. This is how it gets really bad. This is the start of something that gets really bad. If you are getting the guardrails off the truth, where literally cannot catch up to the lies on the internet because of how the pipes work, how the system works, because of the incentives of the richest people in the world, then that's how you lose your democracy. Okay. Alternative theories is a danger to democracy. Oh, listen to these people. They're absolutely terrified. They can't control the narrative. Their lives cannot be pushed to the top any longer. That's what they're so scared of. They're so scared of not being able to tell their version of events the way they want to hear you. I clear all this up, Mr. Reporter, Mr. Ben Collins. How about you go ahead and advocate for all of the security tapes to be released from that night, because we know that a house like the Pelosi is the third person in line to the presidency. Doesn't have any security. Are we led to believe they have zero security after Pelosi has house that is absolute garbage, and they know it, and they don't want the stigma of Popolo? See, being some dude who's out there hammering other dudes inside his underwear inside their house, they don't want Nancy Pelosi to be seen as someone who married a gay dude. That is what they're trying to avoid it, because it's embarrassing to them. So yeah, The cover-up continues, the spinning continues, and they're trying to frame this as a maggot attack, which is there's no evidence of that whatsoever, and this is just a smear tactic by the leftist in the mainstream media. And then, this is some big news. It's been only a couple days since Elon Musk took over Twitter, and in such a short matter of time he's already managed to break the internet. Oh, what a difference a change in leadership really makes. I mean, clearly Jack Dorsey at the helm. Something like this would have never happened. But with Elon Musk, it's pretty much par for the course. It's what you might expect. And what is it like? Day 3, Elon has left the heads imploding as he challenges the status quo, challenges the mainstream media, and already you can see the left's power on Twitter has totally crumbled with this change in ownership. No longer can they censor and shadow ban the disapproved narrative to promote only the approved narrative. And trust me when I say they're already throwing a tantrum. Elon Musk is the gift that keeps on giving. Alright folks, so we already know what the left is doing here with this whole Paul Pelosi thing, this honestly and disingenuously trying to twist and craft a narrative that it has something. So generally those narratives go pretty unimpeded in places like Twitter. Well, no longer, because the owner of Twitter, Elon Musk, the most powerful person on the platform, is now actively standing in their way. Hillary Clinton tweets this story from the Los Angeles Times accused Pelosi attacker David DePapa spread QN on another foul right bigoted conspiracy theories. She writes as a caption on top, the Republican Party and its mouthpieces now regularly spread hate and deranged conspiracy theories. It is shocking but not surprising that violence is the result. As citizens, we must hold them accountable for their words and the actions that follow. Elon Musk then chimes in the comment section replying, "There's a tiny possibility that there might be more to this story than meets the eye." Tweeting this from the Santa Monica Observer, the awful truth: Paul Pelosi was drunk again and in a dispute with a male prostitute early Friday morning. Paul Pelosi stated that he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised that his name is David and that he is a friend. Yeah, right. And oh boy, are left boys losing their minds. Phil Shore writes, "The owner of Twitter is literally spreading misinformation." Kyle Griffin writes, "Elon Musk is already spreading dangerous lies on the platform he owns," which Benny Johnson responds with some receipts here. Kyle Griffin, the same guy of accusing Elon Musk of spreading dangerous misinformation in the past, wrote, "Good reminder, many parts of the Steele dossier have already been corroborated." John Cooper writes, "Serious question, how do we report the new owner of Twitter for spreading lies and conspiracy theories?" And of course the blue and non-resistance regulars all chime in, all pushing the same dopey narrative that Elon Musk is a dangerous figure who's pushing misinformation. But is he, or is he merely practicing his First Amendment right to have an opinion or to challenge the narrative? Elon Musk didn't spread misinformation, because he didn't say anything that was false and claimed that it was unequivocally true. Elon Musk merely said whatever the approved narrative is, whatever they're telling you about this story might not be the whole truth, and other people are reporting something else, not to mention the irony that Hillary Clinton and the rest of these dopey leftists are actually spreading misinformation about this individual somehow being a far-right extremism who committed this act, because he was motivated by Republican rhetoric and conspiracy theories. There is literally no evidence to suggest any of that. We don't know what the motive was here. If they're fully willing to craft this narrative and spread legitimate misinformation, they continue to promote this misinformation and then accuse anyone who questions it or challenges it as spreading dangerous misinformation. Seems a little bit ironic to me. What we're seeing here is clearly the left lashing out at the loss of control. Elon Musk buys the platform, and already you can see a whole lot of shadow bans have been lifted. You can see the trending tab is already changing. A lot of right-wingers are coming back to the platform, restoring some sort of population equilibrium, possibly even a conservative majority on the platform. And the left no longer has control over the narrative, as people can actually challenge it out. And opposing views actually exist in our platform, even the owner of the platform himself, providing that counterbalance, and leftwards are lashing out, melting down. How dare anyone challenge our narrative is essentially what they're saying, like a bunch of damn crying babies. Oh, where it's not fair that our narratives are challenged. I mean, how despicable is that? As if you're some sort of nutcase or wacky conspiracy theorists if you don't buy the approved narrative with this whole situation going on with Paul Pelosi. I mean, the situation is sus to say the least. Why was Paul Pelosi with two other grown men in their underpants at 2:30 a.m. in his mansion? Why was the glass broken outward? Why did he say he didn't know the industry rule but then said the individual was his friend and knew his first name? David, all kinds of questions here. None of it really makes sense. But you're not allowed to question it. And you're definitely not allowed to question the left's characterization of the situation as if this individual is somehow a right-wing MAGA extremist. Yeah, you know, the nudist hippie commune activist literally living in a hippie commune. I mean, this is where that individual lives. I'm not going to go into the reports of what allegedly is going on in this place. But anyways, just on the exterior, you can tell this is not a right-wing conspiracy. MAGA Trump supporters threat terrorist enclave. It's a San Francisco hippie commune, not exactly the bastion of right-wing extremism. I mean, that is by far the most ridiculous conspiracy theory that we have circling thus far. And leftwards expect you to believe that over some other theories that are bouncing around involving Paul Pelosi and some of the potential things that he might be getting down to late at night with other individuals in San Francisco. The whole thing is ludicrous. But the most obvious element here is the total desperation of these left voids. That's really the point that I want to focus on. They are freaking out. They've been saying forever how right-wing chugs, they don't like the censorship of a private company here on Twitter and make your own platform, and Elon Musk turns around and says, well, how about I buy your platform? And of course, the left Boyd collective response is no, that's not what we meant when we said get your own platform. And the funniest part is that Elon Musk isn't even a conservative. He's just providing a counterbalance. He's a moderate middle-pack guy who cares about free speech and open discussion. And you see the leftist reaction when it's a level playing field. Nothing is fair to the left Boyds unless it's stacked in their favor. And that tells you all that you need to know about them. And I mean, talk about the irony and the hypocrisy. Oh, my disinformation. They keep saying as they're fighting a disinformation war to destroy Elon Musk and craft a narrative around his purchasing of the platform. Now they're pushing this story. Elon Musk buys Twitter and all of a sudden the use of the N-word on Twitter increases by 500%. Following the Elon Musk takeover, Philip Lewis writes, Elon Musk's Twitter takeover sparked a surge in the use of that specific word on the social media platform. A social media research group told The Washington Post the use of the slur increased by nearly 500%. LeBron James even chimed in. I don't know Elon Musk, and to be honest, I could care less who owns Twitter. But I will say that if this is true, I hope he and his people take this very seriously, because this is scary as so many damn unfit people saying hate speech is free speech. Well, first of all, when it comes to the ethical argument, or the legal argument surrounding whether or not hate speech is free speech. I mean, we'll leave that to legal scholars, and to claim that certain people have a nuanced opinion on this issue that may not agree with you to claim that they're unfit is a little bit of a stretch, but either way, the left is trying to pretend as if Twitter has become 4chan overnight, but clearly it hasn't been. Elon Musk even responded to this promoting a tweet by Ul Roth where he writes nearly all of these accounts are inauthentic. We've taken control of banned users involved in this trolling campaign and are going to continue working to address this in the days to come to make Twitter safe and welcoming for everyone. They're already on it. But of course, the left is trying to peddle again a disinformation campaign. Twitter has become a total free for all, an extreme reckless place with zero accountability and zero moderation. That is clearly not the case. And Elon Musk has never advocated for that. He's merely advocated for a more open place for people to have discussions without fear of political bias or censorship, and to cater to the large majority that orbits the center of the spectrum and not the extremes of the left. They're just incredible. I mean, the hypocrisy, the lies, the misinformation campaigns, the slander, but in the end, the conclusion, the thesis of the video, the collective left is just losing its mind at the idea that they're losing control over the flow of information, losing control over narratives, and they're throwing a little hissy fit. Oh, your poor little left droids, did you guys lose control over your monopoly power over information and speech? Is your authoritarian rule currently being challenged and taken away from you? Oh, you poor little babies, get wrecked? I mean, I am absolutely loving every single moment of this Twitter takeover. Thank you for watching the video. I wish you a good day. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on that notifications bell.